Welcome back, everybody, to Late Night at the Movies on the Late Night Chat Network, your first stop for pop culture talk. I'm your host, Nico, and join with me today, we got JT.
What's up?
And Julie. What's going on, Julie?
Hi, guys.
And yeah, we're back. This is our first official pick of the new year. If you look back in the feed, you may see that we dropped Pan's Labyrinth a little late. That technically was recorded before the holidays, but I kind of rolled it out a little late because I figured we might be getting back a little late by the time we started recording again in the new year. Yeah. So here we are. If you guys did miss that one, go back and check it out. That was actually, I was rewatching it before I posted it while I was editing it a bit. That was a really great discussion, actually, that we had on that one. I really enjoyed doing that. It was the three of us for that as well. And, Max, as I mentioned, is coming back soon, as we've been told. So stay tuned for him. It's actually his pick next episode. So stay tuned to the end of this one, and we will be announcing what we'll be picking for that. But, this is JT's pick here today. We're talking about Stand By Me, which was JT's pick, which was very weirdly timely, I will say. And that's why I wanted to mention at the top of the show, Pan's Labyrinth, because we even mentioned something about the holidays in the episode. It was recorded before, like, Christmas.
He picked it, yeah.
Yes, he picked it, and then, unfortunately, obviously, rest in peace to the tragedy that happened to Rob Reiner, who directed this film.
Yeah.
But he had picked it when before any of that news had come out. So I'm actually really happy.
You're in trouble, Jay. The Simpsons shit going on.
Right. I'm actually very happy in a way, though, that we are going to at least get to talk about a film that he directed as a result of, obviously, the timing, unfortunate timing of everything. I would much rather have been talking about this without what happened to him, obviously.
Didn't this happen to us once before, too? Like, we picked one and then somebody died.
It was JT again. This guy's Nostradamus.
I'm 2 for 2, man.
Holy shit.
Yo, I don't even think I've won the lottery like that.
What was the movie last time that we picked and somebody died?
JT picked Enemy of the State, and then after we recorded it, the thing happened with him.
Yeah.
With the director?
No, because Hackman's in Enemy of the State. Yeah, Hackman died. Gene Hackman's in Enemy of the State.
Oh, Gene Hackman. Right. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm 2 for 2 when I say about deaths with the fucking podcast.
That was the other time on this show that I feel like he picked it, and then actually I think again he picked it, and then that happened, and then we recorded the episode because I remember we titled the episode "Remembering Gene Hackman" or something. Yeah. So this is really weird with the way that this keeps happening.
Mm-hmm.
You would think that, these are like us picking reactionary videos to people dying, which sometimes happens too. I mean, I know that Max picked Tombstone when what's his name had died. That's in.
But we knew that. Yeah, we knew that.
One we knew. That one we knew. But
that was coming. Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes we've had reactionary like videos as well in terms of like this is timely. But yeah, this was honestly just by chance that this.
But sheer fluke, man. Yeah. I don't know. Like you couldn't roll dice twice the same like that in a row. You couldn't flip a coin twice the same like that. You know what I mean?
It's afraid of his next pick. Somebody's gonna kick the bucket.
Well, you know what it is too. I also tend to pick older ones. So.
True.
A lot of the remember we're getting older, like especially myself, and I'm starting to see the actors, and not only the actors, but maybe even the directors and people associated with the movies that are slowly, part of maybe my dad's era in that sense. So and my parents' era. So it makes sense that something could happen, but not like this. This was a different type of something happened. Like this was like. Yeah, this wasn't like a Gene Hackman where they had a heart attack and nobody checked in on them sort of thing, and that happened, right? So, unfortunately,
fucking sad too. God damn,
man, it is. This one, there's gonna be fucking trials. There's gonna be
gonna go on for fucking years.
This one, maybe not. Maybe it's just too. I don't want to jump to conclusions, but
at the moment, now, I know he's not. Of what had occurred there,
yeah,
right?
he's presumed innocent, right? Until
so I did want to I did want to start the show by saying that just first off,
Mhm.
like obviously rest in peace
Yeah.
to Rob Reiner and his wife
Fuck,
for that
great.
matter. Who also got killed as well at that time of that, whatever occurred there. But yeah, so
You're just partying it away right now.
but make sure to like and subscribe, and as always, and check out some of our other videos here that we've been dropping lately. We also will be dropping our favorite movies of 2025, and Max won't also be on that episode with us, but I think we will be catching up with him so he can further elaborate on his picks that we will be discussing during that episode as well the next time that he's on and we do one of our topic kind of episodes. So make sure to check that out. That may drop even before this, so check your feed because I kind of want to get that video out as soon as possible.
Yeah.
And also, since we do now cover TV on here, there's some very important announcements before I hand it over to Jay. I do want to mention, first off, our Game of Thrones show, Watching the Throne, with coverage of all Game of Thrones episodes and spin-off series and all that kind of stuff, news with me, JT, and Christina is back. We're recording those weekly live a couple of days after the episodes of the new spin-off series, A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, airs on television. So make sure to check that out. We just recorded our first episode back. By the time you see this recording, there might be a second one out. So make sure to go check that out. That's only a 6-episode series, but we will be back again afterwards in the summer. And then those shows we record live.
Yeah.
We don't really record that many live episodes here on the Late Night Chat Network now since we've kind of stopped doing late night chat. So it's a kind of a fun occasion. If you guys are into Game of Thrones, make sure to check in with us, join in on the chat, tune in live, or we rewatch them on the replay. Those are a lot of fun. That's where me and JT and Christina, we basically we dissect the episodes, talk about, them scene by scene, and give you our
nerdy
and thoughts. Yeah, we nerd out Game of Thrones style on that show. So that's TV related. Make sure to check out that. That's Watching the Throne.
Did you guys, this is kind of unrelated, did you have chat turned on? Did people show up?
No, not this time, because we really haven't been
Moving
advertising it really in that sense. So hopefully we can get some people involved again in the chat.
Hey, I had a buddy show up, I'm pretty sure, because I got a text message today. He goes, "You can ever clean up those Tim Hortons cups?"
No, he was working.
He got the notification, a guy I used to work with. Yeah.
We had some people in and out. We had Anna up in the chat at one moment.
Of course, right when I said something, but I had a feeling it was her.
Yeah, but otherwise, yeah, we had a few people that would tune in weekly when we recorded the last episodes live of House of the Dragon. But again, that was a year and a half ago because House of the Dragon takes forever to come out. So we'll be back again with that this summer. So we hope some people end up checking it out live. If not, we're going to be there doing our thing, watch it on the replay. And then secondly, we will also be releasing a video of our top 10 television shows of 2025. That'll be with me, JT, and Rob on that show. So make sure to check that out. Rob stepping in to talk some TV because I think along with JT, he might be the person that watches the most shows here on the channel. So we've asked him to join us along for the ride. So he's going to be jumping on that episode. So make sure to tune into that because that's really JT. That's where he shines. JT is
bread and butter, dude.
Yeah, that's JT's the TV man. I know on what we've been watching videos lately. He's been talking about TV a little bit more now, and we are going to be doing some more TV coverage here on the, our Late Night at the Movies crew stuff. So make sure to tune into that. And another guest host, like I said, Rob will be joining us. We'll be saying all of our favorite shows of 2025 on that episode. So make sure to check that out. So, all right, a lot of rambling from me here at the start. My apologies. Jay, take it away. This is your pick, this film.
So I decided to guys pick Stand By Me because this is one of my childhood favorite, a childhood favorite of mine, to be honest with you. It came out, I'm pretty sure it came out in the summer 86. Of 86. Yeah, I was gonna say, right? So around that time I was growing up. So by the time this movie came out, we were like about 10 and 11 and starting to watch stuff like this kind of movie was a good movie to watch, like even with your family, with your stuff like that. So I decided I'm gonna go back and take a trip down memory lane because I figured let's see what happens, right? Let's see if this movie can really withhold its test of time. It's a great movie. It's It's a coming of age stuff. It's got a lot to do with growing up as a kid. Also has a lot to do with acting. I mean, older actors too as well. Like, I mean, growing up and then coming back and reminiscing. So you come to an age part in your life where you want to, think about that kind of stuff. Maybe I'm going through a little bit of midlife crisis or something like that. I want to remember what it's like to be 12 again, because who doesn't, right? I could stay that age forever if we could, right? But this movie takes place in like in the 50s. So they're saying about 59 in Oregon, just after the war, just after the war, right? I would say post-war, right?
Yes.
Quite a bit after the Second World War, I would think, right?
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, right? That's where they stormed the beaches of Normandy. I hate Nico. I know Nico laughed at that one. So, but yeah.
Yep.
So, and I still think that's where he gets that line. But don't get me started on that one. I hope he watches this.
We have a friend that throws that out there. My grandfather stormed the beaches of Normandy. He probably did get it from this. I didn't realize that quote was from this movie. And when I watched it, I'll tell you, it got the biggest reaction for me, that part. Just
I know you probably laughed as soon as you heard it, bro.
I laughed quite a bit from that when I watched this. Also, you should mention, I don't know if you
and not for a bad reason, guys. We're not laughing at people that
no. We have a friend that says that phrase.
That's just like favorite quote, really, at the end of the day. Yeah. So.
But I also want to mention quickly, I don't know if you touched on it yet, this is also a Stephen King adaptation as well, this one, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, they
film as well.
They
Oh, did he? Okay.
I think he was listed on the writers with two other writers.
Yes.
Movie.
It's based on it, right? I mean, it's based on the novella The Body, which is kind of loosely, they had to make an adaptation. They had to make it suitable for television too as well. Right. So what better way to do it than bring in some serious life, thing with also, a coming of age, and this is the kind of stuff, as a teenage, as a kid before they realize that, they got hormones. This is the time when we used to have fun, right? Before the vagine got in the way. Right. You know what I mean?
And ended late night chat.
That's it, buddy. Here we go.
Yeah.
So these are all this is how this movie makes me feel. This is a very good. So I decided to pick this movie just because at the end of the day, I think it would be all a good watch. I looked at Julie's letterbox and I noticed this wasn't on hers because maybe it's.
I don't even remember if it was in that playlist of the ones that I should have seen, but I haven't.
Yeah, I fucking went through your thing. I was like,
it's in there. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick a movie that maybe Julie's gonna want to see, and I decided to as well because of the Stephen King adaptations and how many fucking Stephen King movies and stuff have come out this year. I decided let's do this one because
has
this one
been a big year for him. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, it's about four friends. They find they have a story to tell, right? Obviously, and it's ultimately starts off with the thing with Richard Dreyfuss coming back. He plays the adult version. He's the narrator of the story. So he comes back and he's looking at a piece of paper and he's just checking everything out and he starts thinking about when he lived there as a kid growing up, something that he read in a news article. I mean, we'll talk about it in probably another scene, but he read something that made him want to think about this story, right? It's still kind of dumbfounding to me because I look at it as a Stephen King book. So he likes to do things where he's got a story inside a story inside a story. You know what I mean? Like sort of like like a Martin,
George R. R.
Martin. Yeah, sort of like him in that sense where you have little novellas in between things and stuff like that. But he makes it like his whole one big world, right? So where I was going with this was he has this see I get so like
his settings. He has a lot of similar settings.
He did it.
They're always based in
sorry,
uptown or something.
But even if you look at the way he did this movie, and I did this on this rewatch, is that it's like he likes to write as the writer
Yes,
who's
the
writing
POV.
a story. Yeah, he's doing
Yeah.
a point of view. That's
Right.
it. Yeah. You should have said that. It reminded you just said porn movie or something, and I would
Mm.
remember POV. So yeah, so it's great. And then this this one is as a writer writing a story with other stories in between it as well as they're coming along.
Well,
So
to
there's
your
like
point, Shawshank's the same thing. It's a
Yeah.
narrated story from the perspective of what's his name, his friend
Morgan
Freeman's character. Yeah. So it's the same deal, like you said. Like sometimes there's a lot of stories that he does from the perspective of the writer, or that's involving a writer, or it's somebody narrating it that's telling it as a story from, like in this one, he is a writer reminiscing about this story and writing it like he actually wanted to become a writer, and he's a writer, right? Like that's the whole thing of Richard Dreyfuss.
And as a kid, yeah, he had this he wanted to become, he didn't know, and he lost his brother at a young age.
The Shining is about a writer who has writer's block. Misery is about a writer who gets abducted. Like that's it is very, he's
just like writing about himself, writing other stories.
But that's the scary part. Like, could you imagine what goes on in this guy's head? Like if he ever lost his mind one day, who would we see? Jack Nicholson from The Shining, or would we see, Gordy from here?
For things like that, though, that is like Misery. That's what inspired him to write that. It's The Shining, the same thing. Like he was experiencing writer's block, and he was dealing with alcoholism at early stages of his life. So that's what that was kind of about. So like, he wears, again, he's one of those guys that wears like his interests and what he's like, and why everything kind of is done in Maine and mostly in his stories, like
Oregon, in that area, and
a lot of
thematic
like a lot of themes in his films, in his stories for that matter, are very similar. Absolutely, there's always like Indian burial grounds and stuff in a lot of them, some sort of American Indian aspect to a lot of his stories. Like
does he write other stuff under a pseudonym sometimes too?
He did back in the day. Richard Bachman.
Okay.
He wrote a lot of popular stuff under his name there as well, but that was again a result of him not knowing if people were just digging him his stuff based on
the name.
Exactly. So he kind of went off and did that for a bit. Like he's not obviously the first person to do that, but yeah. But sorry, go ahead, Jay. But I know how much you like Stephen King, like his stuff, right?
And I mean, I've never, to be honest, really read a book of the Stephen King guys. I'll be honest with you. I've listened to audiobooks and stuff like that, but I've never actually read the books. I mean, we all know that I don't read, so I mean, I can, but I choose not to.
He does not have the attention span.
So, but I always like the movies and the stuff and the adaptations of this based on stuff that they put out, right? Or something that he has something attached to, or even just hearing the stories, right? Like from people, like listening to audiobooks isn't just the same as reading them. It's a little awkward, but I mean, yeah, right. So, but for just for shits and giggles. So I also. It's like I said, it starts off they're in just Castle Rock in Oregon, and they decide to, these brothers get together, and Jerry Connell, is it Jerry Connell? I'm
Jerry
pretty sure it's it. Jerry O'Connell. Yeah, I always say just Connell, but Jerry O'Connell, very young Jerry O'Connell to be a little thing.
I didn't even fucking notice that was him. Honestly, I didn't notice that it was him.
I don't know who the fuck that is.
That's the little fat kid there, Jerry Connell. You know who he
is. I know that's his name, but I don't know what the fuck he's been in. I don't know.
He's been a bunch of things. He's been he was married to Rebecca Romaine at one point.
Somebody else from a fucking Stephen King universe.
Is he with her now? I think he's with her now. He was with her after Stamos, if I'm not mistaken. He might still be with her. I'm not sure, but he was. Yeah. Oh, he's in one of your favorite movies, Julie. He's in Dude, Where's My Car? He's the bully.
I only just saw that for the first time like 2 months ago.
I know. That's why I just movies. He's in that.
He's in quite a few, like he's but he's been in a lot of stuff. So I mean, he's not a not known actor. You know him
Not a
from
huge
you've known
name.
him.
No, he's not.
And
a
I'm
huge,
aware of Will Wheaton, but I don't know anything he's been in either. I don't think.
he was on the
Like, I
Big Bang Theory.
Which I fucking hate that show.
Yeah, I mean, probably one of the biggest named actors in this one you're gonna get is Keith Sutherland, right? I mean, everybody knows that. That's a big
Everybody knows
You're
Corey
also gonna
Feldman
get
now.
And
John
unfortunately,
Cusack.
who died.
And River
very
Phoenix is dead.
for Phoenix. Yeah.
River Phoenix was up. Yeah, it was this
Joaquin's
was
brother.
he was that heartthrob of the early '90s, right?
And Corey
And
Feldman, who's
unfortunately,
a big weirdo now, was huge at this time. Like after
oh,
that, like yeah, like he's very strange nowadays.
very great, very good. They played a very good role. So they decide. Joe O'Connell's it decides he's going to end up, here overlooking. He buried his pennies in the underneath the porch, and he had lost the map that he had to find it. So he was digging holes to find his pennies in the ground, right? Because we're talking about 59, so pennies actually made a difference. 1959, people counted their pennies or saved them. You know what I mean? But he was digging up, and he hears, yeah, that's the only ones that she's got left. I don't even know if I have pennies anymore, to be honest with you.
Pennies.
This is all I got left. I got them all saved.
But yeah, so
Oh, I lost 2 of them.
he overhears his keep the change. But he overhears his brother and a friend of theirs talking about a missing boy that had gone missing, and they were looking for the body, and it sparked his imagination to go and tell his buddies about it. He said exactly where it was. It was at the end of this and that, and they could follow the train tracks there. So they get together in their hideout, and they decide to despise a way to figure out, like, what do we do? So I'll tell my parents I'm staying at your house. You'll tell your parents you're staying at my house, that kind of thing. Like, just what boys would do. It brings me back to, like, going and taking off even with my brother, like, back before cell phones. I am not talking 1959, but I'm talking cell phones before they were everybody's hand. I remember getting the cops called on us a bunch of times because of that kind of stuff. My mom didn't know where the fuck we were all day, and she'd be like calling the cops, and the cops, you would see, if I was your dad, I'd give you a smack, and like that kind of shit. Like, they were a little bit more tougher back then, right? When they talked, especially when they get called to come to your house to go find you, because you can imagine just what it was like. Right? No cell phones in your hand, can't track you every step you go, right? And boys will be boys. But this movie also, I think, I don't know what anybody else got from this movie. Sorry, I didn't see what anybody else's take is on this movie.
That's right.
Like,
That's what you're saying. Yeah, we can go around.
yeah, like, no. So I mean, that's really what it is. They go on a quest to go find this body and see a dead body, and then this is their mission for the weekend. They're trying to get out and get away, and they run into some obstacles along the way, and real life stuff. And there's some very great scenes and quotable moments in this movie. So I think that I thought that Julie would probably like it. So that's another reason why I picked it, because I seen it on there. And I knew Nico would. Nico's like a Gordy to me, man. He reminds me of like a Gordy, He reminds me of a Richard Dreyfuss. He does. Not for anything. I mean, it's just, yeah. That's my take. I mean, it really brings back the old, before post. When it brings back a lot of old memories, right? So, I won't get too far into it because I might get a little bit emotional there when it comes to certain things. But yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Did you cry when you watched this movie?
You know what? I didn't realize how fucking much. Yeah, it fucked with my emotions again. Yeah, that's because it brings back a lot of stuff. It brings back a lot of stuff post, growing up, post coming into Toronto when I lived, So yeah, it brought up a lot of that kind of shit, especially at the time. Right now, it's pretty fucking. Yeah, it was good. It was well needed. I'll be honest with you, it was well needed. And
Nico, did you tear up at this movie?
I will never. This movie will probably be one of my all times. Yeah, like this goes down in my in the books for me.
Yeah, I've heard you talk about it before, but I honestly didn't know that this movie meant so much to you in that sense. So, Julie, careful with your comments there today.
I mean, this is not meant for this is why it's funny, because I knew that there are certain things that Julie might not find very appropriate to her standards.
Well, I certainly won't cry when I see this movie. I'll tell you that.
You don't cry at any things that are normal to cry at, anyways.
Emotionless bitch.
You've established this.
Yeah, JT's going through PMS or something right now. He's there all the time.
You want to know something? This whole show has just been in their feelings lately. We literally have had 3 picks in a row that have individually made the person who picked them cry.
Yeah,
you know that, right? I did Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, then she did Pan's Labyrinth, and here we have this one. You said that you got a little misty-eyed watching, so there you go. That's 3 for 3.
We've been on the Cry trilogy. That's cool.
You know what? Hey,
I didn't even know that was a theme. It just kind of naturally became that as a result.
I think,
right?
yeah, I think that I followed you, and then he followed me, and I think we were all on the same thread.
Kind of, yeah.
Will Max pick a tearjerker? Probably not.
No.
Do you think Max has ever cried watching a movie?
Oh yeah.
I have a feeling he might have cried to this one, maybe, and that's why he doesn't want to show up today.
Oh, really?
Right?
I'll have to ask him when he comes back.
Because he's never had friends like this. No.
Oh my god.
Yeah, bada boom. No.
There we go.
No, but yeah, I had to. Sorry, guys. He seems to always miss my picks, so I have to always throw it. Right. But I love him anyways.
He's missed the last couple of months. He's missed all of our
picks.
Anyways,
yeah,
but for good reason. He can explain it when he comes back. So, anyways,
yeah, we'll give him that time.
So I will say this. I don't think I've actually even ever seen this movie fully either, Jay. Actually, I'm with Julie on this one. I feel like this again has fallen into that area
by the waistline.
Yeah.
Oh,
as you would put it.
Excellent.
And I've said this for other picks on the show too. This falls into that area where I feel like it's so ingrained in just popular culture that I feel like I know these scenes, or I've seen some of these scenes, or I've heard them talked about, and I feel like I had seen the movie, but I don't think I've ever actually sat down and watched this full movie. So, but that being said, I do like a lot of Stephen King adaptations. This is definitely in the vein of something different from outside of his horror stuff. And I also like that kind of stuff from him as well, for the most part. And I also really like coming of age movies, as you know, that is one of my favorite, if not my favorite genre of films. I love coming of age stories, whether it's in, things I read or things I watch. I really love that. So for me, yeah, this is a home run. I enjoyed watching it. But I will say this. I don't have the reverence of this film like you do, because I didn't grow up watching it. And I think this movie would hit a lot harder for me if I did, in that sense. Because I don't want to say that I watched it and I was I wasn't meh, but I was also just yeah, that was good. That was solid.
It's an easy watch.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But then when I sat and thought about it, and I thought about some of the scenes, and I thought about us talking about it here today, I did start to appreciate it a bit more, even in the offset, after having watched it, and to the point where I would rewatch it at some point. I didn't dislike the film by any means. So that's what I kind of really wanted to say, in terms of my review about the whole film, is that it's a good, solid film, and I enjoyed it, but I also don't have the reverence for it like you do, and many other people do. This is a very highly regarded film, not even just in Rob Reiner's filmography. It is in terms of just movies of this era and coming of age films. If you even go on Letterboxd, this is a super highly rated film on there. This is one that, and even if you look at it, like you said, all these younger actors at this time that were coming up that became, names or semi-names. This is one of those movies of this period of time when they still used to make movies like this a lot with these early young Hollywood people and 80s films, and when Rob Reiner actually started directing movies. So
I mean,
It's a very important
girls
movie.
had posters. Yeah, girls had posters on their wall of fucking River Phoenix.
River Phoenix was like a heartthrob. Yeah, exactly. Like I know, like he was like untapped potential in terms of like what they had expected that kid's career was going to be. In a lot of ways, it became
his downfall.
And
but it became his downfall.
Yeah.
Because I mean, unfortunately, he did his life ended.
Right.
Not too long after this. I mean, maybe. I would say I wouldn't even say 10 years after this movie, but he was cocaine and fucking that he's doing speedballs, right?
Speedballs,
I mean,
yeah.
And that was at the if I'm not mistaken, that was at the fuck, I just had it, man. It was at the it was at a club. It was at a nightclub. I just had it at the tip of my tongue, and yeah, it was a big thing. It ruined a lot of them. Corey Feldman too, because a lot of them were friends,
He's
right?
had a pretty rough and tumble past as well. Yeah, we know this. I mean, a lot of these guys, right? I just think like
child actors at certain ages at this time when they got too much money. They were used and abused in the wrong ways and stuff like that. And I don't mean it, but I mean by Hollywood in that sense.
Yep.
And nowadays there's a lot more regulations to that kind of shit and stuff like that. This is prior to like even the Britney Spears, Lindsay Lohan crap, you know what I mean? Like,
and all the Disney stuff and everything we've learned now in terms of like the children being taken advantage of, whether by their managers or their parent managers, I should say, or I mean, even with Macaulay Culkin, like his abusive father relationship and what happened with him. Like, yeah, there's all kinds of stories that we've heard. Like you said, they've kind of hopefully learned from a lot of what had happened with these kids in these
a lot more protection for them in that sense. I'm hoping, right? Come through the future, right? But all around it's one that's not it's gonna withstand the test of time. It's gonna be something that'll be out forever.
Yeah.
And probably it's like the Rob Reiner legacy, you know what I mean? So that's a good thing. And yeah. This is kind of getting it, he must have channeled Archie in this one in the sense where he directed it, because there's a lot of 59 you could say a lot more things than you could say in 92 when I was probably watching this too as well. Actually 92 you could probably get away with saying a lot of stuff too. Yeah.
You of course are referencing Archie Bunker from All in the Family,
right?
Yeah. Who Rob Reiner was an actor on the show, of course, for anybody who doesn't know out there.
He was the meathead. He was the meathead.
Yeah. Yeah, but a solid pick. I liked it. No complaints from me. I'm not going to. I will just say I'm not gonna I don't have the passion behind it like you do in terms of talking about the film probably here today, but that's not to say I didn't enjoy it. So it was a nice pick. I'm glad you picked it. There's a couple of certain scenes which when we get into the scenes that really hit home for me, like hard, where I'm like, okay, yeah, I get it. Like I get why this is a beloved film. There's certain themes in these type of films that do hit home with me, like these coming of age things. And it's about getting older that those parts kill me. Because it's true. Like these are windows.
You have a young John Cusack.
These are windows in time that you can't get back. You know what I mean? Like, so I think once you get to that part of the film, it was really sad, to me.
I bet you if you ask each one of the artists, each one of the actors that acted with him and stuff like that, and it's still around, and anybody, this is probably they probably would feel that this was probably one of their, I don't want to speak for them, but I would say if I was them, this would probably be one of my most memorable things. Oh,
for sure.
And heartfelt, probably, because they were part of that whole River Phoenix thing, right? So
absolutely. No, you're probably right. I mean, like you said, people look at the trajectory of a lot of their careers. They really didn't have good times after this. A lot of these guys, right? Obviously what happened with River Phoenix, but even Jerry O'Connell, he didn't blow up, I think, on the level these other guys did. What's his name? Corey Feldman, all the shit that happened with him, allegedly, who the hell knows what went on with that guy? You know what I mean? He had some tough times.
Yeah, but Keith Sutherland saves the world, man. I mean, he's he's a designated fucking hero, bro. You gotta watch it. But this was
puts on glasses now and gets paid.
big bucks. This was straight out of like, what was it? The Outsiders, where it was the vampires. Yeah.
Outsiders is in the vampires one. You're talking about the Lost Boys.
The Lost Boys,
Corey Haim and Corey Feldman. That one, yeah.
Yeah, but Keith Sutherland was in it too, right? That one, yeah, that was badass. That was like badass.
Well, that's the thing. These were all these school of guys that were coming up at that time, right after like all like the Breakfast Club people, like essentially, right?
Yeah,
so it's like it's this like there's this other like group of teenage actors or young adult actors at this period of time too, right? So, but yeah, Julie, why don't you go ahead? Let us know what you thought about it.
Well, okay, listen, my explanation and my review is not quite just as long or well spoken as Nico's, but I felt kind of the same. That, I mean, for anybody that has seen the show, there's a few years between each of us here. I'm the youngest of the three of us, and I did not grow up in the 80s, so I don't really have that experiential. But even like, okay, if you were to think about, you consider yourself to be an 80s kid, Jay?
No. I don't know I don't even know what I am anymore. I don't know. I'm stuck in between a rock and a hard place when it comes to believing if I'm an 80s or a 70s. I'm in the between. I don't even remember growing up in the 80s. I mean, I'm a 90s kid.
You consider yourself an 80s kid or a 90s kid?
I think 90s. I'd be a teenager. That's when I started, messing.
No, I know. But Nico, do you think you're an 80s kid?
I used to wander the streets when I was an 80s kid too. Like,
no, I'm a 90s kid for sure. Yeah. But I still have an attachment to the 80s. Obviously, I was born in the 80s, but obviously when I started coming into my own and actually doing like stuff with friends and stuff was in the 90s, not the 80s. But culturally, like in terms of
you feel connected to the 80s kid thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So like,
I kind of feel that way about like I was born in the 90s. My like coming of age time was not until the 2000s.
Right.
But I do feel like culturally aligned with the 90s kids stuff.
I'm the same way with the 80s.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm not familiar.
Like this.
Yeah, you're on again in the cusp of things, but like it's not, it doesn't hold the same significance to me to watch it because I didn't grow up during that time. I wasn't born during that time. So I don't really have the same experience of that era to kind of to get that same nostalgia factor that you're probably talking about, Jay. Like it doesn't hit the same for me. Yeah. I can look at this. I'm going to go easy. Because it means a lot to him, and I'm not trying to hurt anybody's.
No, I'm not worried. You can be a critic. This is what the whole show's about, right? Like,
I think I feel I can look at this from a significant standpoint and see what it led to and what it meant to the film industry. I don't feel like I connected with the material that much. This is another thing that I was
material though.
You what?
I didn't think you would connect with the material. I picked it because I wanted you to just see it and to see like kind of how it was different for me, and then it would have been.
Yeah.
I know for sure you wouldn't have even had a clue of, this was one of those ones where I knew it would have been like way out of your realm, but you've actually thrown stuff that was out of my realm
but it also is like something like this for you to go and pick at something like this. This would have been the pre this would have been what broke ground for stuff that I've picked.
Probably.
So I can look at this from a standpoint of like, this has significance for these reasons. Like I can logically look at this and see why it's highly regarded and why it's revered.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't connect with the material that much because, first of all, it's a movie about 4 boys. That's another thing I was thinking about earlier that I'm like, I don't have the same childhood experiences because I'm a girl. Like I wouldn't have had the same.
I can understand that
type of riffraff going on in my life, and also because I grew up during another. I don't want to say another generation, but like another
era,
another era of like childhood. Like there were a lot different
TV shows, movies out.
Not only that,
not that. No, I'm talking about like parenting
like
styles.
even like a different kind of setting in terms of like what these kids have access to, like around them. Maybe
exactly. Like there was a different level of awareness in parents at my time growing up in that age.
Yeah, this was. I mean, and this was also even not my age. Like these were basing it off of, No,
I know it's supposed to be based in the 50s.
Yeah, right. So I mean, it's not even close to. I'm nowhere near, close to that. I have nothing nor about that. But the era that this movie came out in,
yes,
is what kind of pushed, I think, maybe some of my generation to do these kind of fucked up things and go camping and try to hang out at buddies' houses or hang out in fucking in tree houses and stuff like that, or just hanging out as a group of boys. Before the, like I said, before the vagine got involved in our heads, and this was like the real, like this was real life for us.
But when you even say it earlier, when you said that this is a very boys will be boys type theme, that is very much what I want people to think of when they say boys will be boys, because it is before they're in like that puberty stage and they're just fucking running around in the woods looking for shit and, playing house out there and trying to camp and all that shit. It's when I think of that, like boys will be boys is a phrase, I do think of this.
Yes.
Whereas now the boys will be boys thing is connected to like misogyny and fucking like just
the innocence,
heated rivalry.
Yeah,
innocence,
heated rivalry.
Yeah,
heated rivalry is something else. But it's like more. Yeah, it's like a purer form of boys will be boys.
Sure,
absolutely. In a way, obviously they go looking for a dead body, and that's like a fucking anomaly. But like, yeah, I don't. What I'm saying anyway is that I don't feel like I super connected with the characters or with the material quite as much, but I can look at this from like a critic kind of standpoint and understand why it's important.
Well,
why it's an important material, to people that grew up, like saw this when it came out, or grew up and saw this when they were growing up, and what this led the way for in terms of the film industry and stuff that's in this genre.
Yeah.
But I don't think I kind of feel indifferent to it as like, would I watch it again? Like, did I enjoy it? I wouldn't say I didn't enjoy it, but I was like, I just kind of felt it was hard for me to connect and pay attention.
To be fair, outside of like some of your comments about not being able to connect with it and stuff, I actually agree with a lot what you're saying, because like I said, it didn't blow me away either,
right?
In that sense, but I do have a bigger appreciation for it, and I feel like than you're saying about, because you weren't able to.
Yeah, like I feel like I'm a rung below how you're saying.
Yes. Yeah. So I get where you're coming from.
I don't think that I can look at this and go, wow, I fucking didn't like this. I kind of feel like
indifferent.
Indifferent is like sort of the best way I can put it. It didn't. I don't even know how to, like, I don't know if I think it was slow burning or if it was, I don't know. I don't really know where to place it, but like I can look at it from the other standpoint of like, this is an important film. But I think part of it, and I've said this about other stuff before, that it's like I'm seeing it too far out of its time, maybe, because this is the first time I've seen it. Like, I can't remember if I said that or not. And even I was thinking about this too. I haven't even seen that many Rob Reiner movies.
Have you seen A Few Good Men? Have you seen?
I've never seen that. I've seen Misery. I've seen The Bucket List, and I've seen Princess Bride.
Did he do The Bucket List? I didn't realize that.
He might have been a writer or something. I may not have been
an executive producer.
I think he was involved somehow in production, but
actually,
I've seen Misery and I've seen Princess Bride.
Okay, which is fun. I've never seen Princess Bride, and that's another one that's beloved by people. But I've never seen When Harry Met Sally either.
I've never seen that either.
That's his other big popular one. I've seen This Is Spinal Tap. I've seen.
Wolf of Wall Street. He had a part of that.
I
just watched that the other day, but that was completely unrelated to this.
Yeah, he's great.
Like, well, I've seen it before, but I rewatched it the other day.
Yeah. Rob Reiner's Leo's dad in that.
Was he in The Bear, or did he have something to do with that too as well?
He is in The Bear. Yeah, I think he had a small part. He had a small part in one of the seasons, I believe.
Yeah.
But actually, I just want to throw this out there. to your point about production companies, Reiner is one of the founders of Castle Rock Entertainment.
That makes sense.
Which here's this movie's Castle Rock, Oregon in this film, right? So he was one of the few founders of Castle Rock Entertainment. Castle Rock Entertainment famously went on to be one of the big reasons that Seinfeld succeeded, because they were with a production company that was involved with Seinfeld from the start.
Yeah.
They also, in terms of other big credits of movies they produce, they also produced Shawshank Redemption and When Harry Met Sally, which are also, again, that was one of his films, which is another big one for him. So, so I mean, that's just really cool.
I wonder if he was a Stephen King guy, because I mean, like that Castle Rock, that too as well. All that stuff is all in that same area, Maryland and Oregon, and all in that same sort of stretch.
Is Oregon on the other side?
Don't quote me on this, but I believe I had heard that Stephen King asked for him specifically to direct. It was either this or Misery, but I guess Misery came after this, right? So maybe it was this then, because I remember hearing that he specifically wanted him to adapt his films. I think he wanted to work with Rob Reiner actively. So so that's, again, this was at a time too, you got to really understand that Stephen King adaptations were few and far between in terms of the quality this time, right? It was,
I think he's getting a lot luckier nowadays.
He hated The Shining, so if we're not even counting that at this point, you got to go by this movie being one of the ones he obviously liked. And then you had, I think he liked Carrie, which was also well received at the time, the Brian De Palma film. But yeah, there was a lot of things that were either made for TV or just
stuff like that.
Movies that just were too early, I feel like, for them to adapt some of these films. They weren't really well done or really well. The people that were doing them, maybe they weren't so good, or they were straight to TV adaptations, or even the earlier It. The earlier It was good, but it was a TV. It's straight to TV. It was a TV movie, right? Yeah. But I mean, but that was really good. But
a lot of these, a lot of these could be right to TV too. I mean, even Stand By Me could have went to TV quick. And you know what, Nico, you might have seen it, bits and pieces of it throughout the years of that. That's
what I was thinking too. It was one of those things that was on TV and you'd seen parts of it.
Yeah, it was a constantly running thing.
I definitely have, but this isn't one of my childhood films like it is yours. And I think Julie's right by saying I would have such more love for this film if that was the case. But this is one of those movies where nostalgia plays a huge factor in your enjoyment of the film. It is. It definitely is. I think that if this is something that you grew up with, you're going to love this film. I liked it, but it's also not one that, I'm sure you've watched a bunch of times, Jay. I haven't, right? So I think that your level of enjoyment is going to vary. And I know that's unfortunately sometimes the case when we bring shows to this movie picks to this show, is that if it's a new watch for some people, sometimes it's right away they're like, oh, I love this movie, I'm gonna watch this again, this is a new classic for me. And then there's somewhere you come with such an appreciation of your pick that the other person didn't have that experience with. So right off the bat, it's hard to kind of get to where in terms of the admiration for the film, that. That's kind of where I'm at. I like it, but it didn't,
doesn't hit.
No, not in the same way it does for Jay. But but again, when we get into the scenes here, there's some scenes in this movie I really, really loved. I really enjoyed. So
that play out really good. Yeah. So, I mean. Yeah, I can understand where you guys are both coming from. I guess I can understand, because I mean, we all have our own specific types of movies that we kind of, channel towards our likings or towards maybe what we remember it based around in our lives. Because this is sort of like music, just like anything. And that's another thing too I love to say about this movie, is that it has a fucking outstanding soundtrack, right? The whole movie inside out, and like I said, there's a reason my Spotify said I was 75 this year. I listened to this kind of music, remember, this was old 50s. This was before the music died. This was like Buddy Holly. This is all happy music, happy music. This was great times. This is why, sometimes you kind of wish the world was still kind of like that in that sense too, right? that's where I find this one will stand the test of time for that reason, in that sense, right? Maybe more so to the male genre than anything, right? Because boys will be boys, like you said, but it will, I think, will always kind of withstand. Everybody always wants to relive their fucking childhood some way or another, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, this one worked for me.
It's like a movie that's like completely like I don't think it's like unwatchable because it's out of its era. I think that it's just like that, yeah, that like you're saying, that nostalgia thing that really plays a part in how you connect to it. But I don't think like as a first watch that it's like, wow, this is so fucking old, like I can't.
No.
It's not like that, but like I was just thinking about like, I didn't even like pay attention to the fucking music this time.
Like really just take it in as a story.
Yeah.
I know I was trying to pay attention to the narrative too much that I don't even really remember the songs.
Well, Stand By Me plays a lot.
I know that. I know.
There's a whole soundtrack. There's Lollipop.
I know. Like now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, oh yeah, like
there's good music in it. Yeah, he's right.
Remember here and there that I was like, oh yeah, I know that song. But like I don't even like I didn't even pay that much attention to it as I normally I do. I usually bring that up in the discussion, but I didn't even really. I was trying so hard to just pay attention to the narrative and like to pick up on information so I can make good notes, but I had a hard time.
Well, I wanted to see what you thought about like the cinematography when it came to the train scene, right? Like
even that, I was like, I didn't.
Oh no, that was amazing, Jay. I agree with you. That shot, that he's shooting from far away.
You can tell
that is a picturesque scene, man. That was just
beautiful.
This is amazing that they
but
have.
Are they really running? Like, is the train like it freaks me out because
no,
I know
but that exists clearly. Like that is a train. Like they didn't make that for this film, and this
that goes through there.
FX. Like that is like I would have signed on to do this movie just based off of that. Like if as a director, like he was probably like, this is perfect. Like, you know what I mean? Like that was
some scenery shots were beautiful. And remember,
amazing shot. Yeah.
Before its time, the way they've taken it. You see how the one you see in the background here that we have, and you see the little boys at the bottom, and that, I mean, those are the views, and those are the shots you would get some of these panned out views in this movie. And that's, obviously it's on a different type of color filter and stuff like that because it is an 80s movie, so it's not like what we're seeing now. I don't know why
now back
more digital.
They were shooting on film more back in the day. Nowadays shoot
digital. So it's more faded, it looks like, as well, right? When they're adding color, it's like when your printer dies on your ink, the color dies slowly, right? That's what it reminds me of. 80s films. yeah That's what it reminds me of, right? So I'm
with you. That was my favorite shot. I actually made a note specifically about that with them going all across the bridge. That was my favorite shot of the whole film. That was
I wrote it down too in scenes, but I wasn't even really thinking about the logistics of having to film that or anything. I just wrote it down as like the narrative of. I was thinking about whatever. I'll get into it later, but like,
well, let's get into favorite scenes and quotes, Jay. Yeah, why don't you? We're talking about them already now. I feel like we went through.
Yeah, we've kind of went over a lot of the openings. So, but I mean, the opening scene, like I like that when he pans up to his thing and he's looking into the field and he's and doing all that, right? So that opening scene we already had talked about, but I like that pan shot of it, right? But favorite scenes of mine are. I like to go with so when they're running from the train, that's probably one of my favorite. But when I want to get into something really like emotional, the talks that River Phoenix and Gordy and Thing had were probably some of my favorite scenes and dialogue in this whole film. There was some fun stuff too, but I think favorite scenes. It would go for even I can say every scene, every little short scene in this movie has been my favorite scene. It's so hard to pick because I want to run through them, right? Like all of them quickly, but it's like replaying the movie. So you get the junkyard scene. Like they're walking. First of all, they decide to first
With the dog? You're talking
yeah.
about the dog? Yeah.
Yeah, so this is one of their first sort of kind of encounters coming up, right? They got to pass through this junkyard, and they have to do it by a certain time because as they're walking along the train tracks, they they put their change together. They sit on the train tracks. Like I remember because when I grew up in Brampton too, we had train tracks there.
I grew up when I was a teenager around even there's train tracks like past the Danforth. You can get to certain parts where the train tracks and stuff like that. Obviously, just in the city, and we used to hang out by the train tracks and stuff too at a period of time, like when I was younger. So yeah, that's a good place to go smoke cigarettes. You know what I mean? Without being seen.
That's where boys will be boys. Like so.
Or smoke joints for that matter. Let's be honest.
I didn't do it at that age.
I this is when I started hanging around those areas. That's when I was starting to yeah, that was even for me. I guess it was considered late by some. This is the summer of grade 9. I think I started smoking when I was younger. So so I was a little late to that party as well too in that regard. All through the first year of high school, it wasn't like that, right? So.
Well, we didn't get it. I wasn't so lucky that we have a treehouse with me and my buddies, right? So when we would go and find places to sneak in and smoke cigarettes, like River Phoenix, that scene when they're talking about going to see the body, right? And he's got his fucking cigarette pack
rolled up in his sleeve.
It's so 50s-ish, right? Like, you know what I mean?
It's like Grease, like they're gonna start
yeah, bro, right? But you remember, you always have like a tight knit group of friends. So there's like 3 or 4 of us, right, that would all hang out together, and we, kind of defies like these guys were saying, try to go. So it'd be fun. So that probably scene hits is probably one of my favorite ones. Just bringing it all back, right? I also like the one with the leeches when they're going out there. They take the shortcut. Right, so
ouch.
Okay, we
it off of his dick.
Could you imagine?
No, I could not imagine. I've been in those scenarios where people like got leeches on them and stuff, but I've never seen that like a whole thing where like getting leeches like actually on like that. Like I know I've seen people get scared of that happening to them, but I've never seen that happen like that. Like that's
no crazy. That. I've never had them on me. I've never seen them on. Like I've jumped in creeks and dirty water like that and shit like that. But I've
had it on me. But it's like one of those things where you see it and you slap it off right away. Like it's like
See, even that's a difference. Like I grew up in a time, or maybe it also could be location based because I didn't grow up around here. But I grew up in the fucking boonies, like where they were too, though. But I grew up in an area
more so than me. But I was in Brampton, and Brampton was at that time was the fucking boonies.
I grew up in this era that was like a hyper aware, hyper cautious type. So I was like it was baked into me. Like, don't go in fucking weird water because of leeches. Don't run through fields because of ticks. Like I was already like, I don't go near the fucking train tracks. That was like already baked into me at those ages. You know what I mean? Like that's part of why like little things that come up when I'm watching it that I'm like, fucking, this is not anything close to like what I would have done.
Well, to be fair though, that like there's also other things in this movie sprinkled in that I don't think people could relate to now either. Like, listen, you've heard of things like this happening, but there's like some hardcore themes in here too. I wouldn't say hardcore, but like Buddy's running around with his father's gun at one point.
Yeah.
Like the whole
how do you get your dad's gun?
Canadian American difference,
right?
Yeah.
But then there's the whole fact that the whole idea that they're journeying to see a dead body is too dark for some folks too in this film. Like that's the whole Stephen King of it all. Quite honestly, is that the fact that but again, like as a kid, you may want to see something like that. You're like, oh, that's cool. Like I want to see a dead body, right? Like that's like, I don't know. It's definitely some of the thematically some of the things that are happening or like in this film, like in that regard, even are hard for me to relate to in that sense, right? But you definitely know, I've seen enough or known of this time period where it's like obviously a more innocent time. Like and like things like that. I've
Easy
also seen a
going.
lot of movies of kids during the 80s acting like shitheads on this level, like even worse
Right.
than the kids in this movie. The kids in this
Right.
movie are actually very like good kids. They're nice
Yeah.
kids. These kids. Like I've seen other movies where the kids are shitheads, like kind of causing trouble, right? They all kids get into trouble, but like they
Right.
mean well more so these kids than some of the other kids. Like these brothers' friends are shitheads in this movie. Like those guys are terrible. Like
Yeah, those guys were
There's
sitting.
another
That
thing-
was so cool, man. You ever done that where you live, Julie? Come on, you had to have like a convertible and beat out people's mailboxes.
No, like not even. This is the other thing too that I wrote this down I just kind of forgot to touch on it earlier. But I've always felt like movie representation of bully types doesn't really hit for me either. Like a lot of times I'm like, I don't fucking know anybody that acted like that. I don't really know anybody that
You
like.
guys got participation.
But I think it's again, it could be a guy girl difference thing that like guys fucking fight.
Listen, that is.
But I don't know anybody that like got bullied like that at school age and like got the shit kicked out of them by older kids. Like I don't really know that. I've never experienced that.
I'll say in one hand, yeah, you're lucky then.
That's what I think I'm disconnected from that. Even I don't know if that's like a time frame thing, but like it could just be small town shit.
This is what I want to say though. From an 80s perspective, though, that is a popular trope, the bully. Like that is very, and to the degree that bullies are in Stephen King's films or adaptations, very extreme. Like it is in the movie. They're trying to kill the other fucking kids in that movie. Like his are dialed up very much so in his stories.
Yeah, but he was probably bullied a lot as a kid too.
Absolutely.
That's what I think. Being a writer and being maybe a little bit nerdy.
But do you think that comes from like in like the representation of it is like an inflated sense of like what it felt like? Like he thought this guy was trying to kill him. You know what I mean? Like,
no. Well, maybe.
I don't know. It's hard. I guess it's hard to comment on. We don't fucking know what he went through, but like, it's like I don't fucking know anybody. Like my high school had like after school fight club where people would fight for fun. It wasn't like people were beating the shit out of each other to be a bully. It was like kids would get into fights and it was like a mutual fighting thing. But like,
kind of like what they did here in this
that got
they got into
bullied like that, you know?
I mean, in this movie, you're not really getting bullied. I mean, they're not really getting too much bullied. I mean, if they're getting bullied,
no, but like
they're getting bullied by their parents, if anything. Like poor
true,
Gordon.
True. Yeah, and like
by his dad. His dad's your buddy from Total Recall.
I kind of had forgotten while watching it that it was, and even still, when we were talking about it now, like you reminded me, like, oh yeah, this isn't set during the 80s; it's set during the 50s. Like, yeah, like there's also that, like, people, yeah, the era is just really different. But like, I don't know, yeah, like that always felt strange to me in a lot of
the 80s
the bullies. I'm like, I don't fucking really even know that experience like that.
But I think the 80s sort of ended that sort of bully. The 90s sort of ended that bullyishness. It might have dragged into a little bit in the 90s, but after that, it wasn't such a thing like anymore with bullies.
It's on the internet now.
It's more psychological. It's more fucking it's a little bit more sophisticated now than straight up just bullying. Like,
well, now there's cyberbullying. It's people just, people
but I mean,
bully each other online, and that,
it's gotten to a point, where you're breaking the law now in a sense.
I was about to say bullying exists still. Let's be honest.
I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm saying like different. I think maybe that could be it. Like too much in the internet era, like that people didn't beat the shit out of each other.
Oh, I knew bullies. I knew bullies growing up. I have a couple of scarring stories about bullies from growing up. I've been a bully.
I
knew bullies, but
friends of mine that are friends that I'm friends with now were bullies when they were younger. Yeah,
I had
I'm still friends with Leslie.
Experiences with bullying, but it was like so markedly different from that. Like it was literally just people talking shit to each other. Nobody ever really fought that I can think of. Like I can probably think of a couple of times where like guys that were the same age that were just beefing in the same grade, whatever, and they would fight after school. But it was like a thing that they both agreed to.
Well,
But,
that's why I think that there's
these older kids bullying these younger kids. Like, it does kind of make sense to me in like the sort of sibling rivalry sense of like, I knew people that had siblings that were like quite a few years older that would like just fucking be brutal to the younger sibling. But like that just like, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I don't know.
I mean, yeah, I get. I think I get what you're saying, Julie. I think that's what it was. It's just more that it was more hands-on bullying back when we were growing up, as opposed to hiding behind a desk and just criticizing or fucking making somebody cyber. Like this has made it so much easier to bully people to an extreme where it's almost like illegal now. You know what I mean? Beating the shit out of each other as boys at one time was okay.
They didn't look on it as like a crime. They looked on it like as like, boys all right, enough, like fucking separate yourselves. Cops didn't really give a shit. They would talk to your parents, but like, yeah,
they let you beat each other up first before they stop.
Times are different.
Cops would fucking have.
I don't know if it's better or worse. I don't know.
And that's the thing, right? Like, I mean, I hate to say it, but you grew up more in an area where there was participation badges. It wasn't fight for your life in a sense. You know what I mean?
It's funny? It's funny that you fucking say that, because a box of shit my brother found in the garage of my old stuff the other day, and I had participation ribbons from soccer.
There you go.
But I had trophies. I had trophies from soccer, but I also had participation ribbons in there.
I've had trophies at one point, but I've never had a participation badge.
Yeah, they used to give us
I barely got a trophy. I was barely good at that kind of shit. I barely got trophies.
I have 2 trophies in there, and I have 2 medals, but I have participation ribbons from track and field and from soccer.
I see. So, but yeah, but I mean, it's just like
we became coddled.
Yeah, exactly. I think so. I think it was a little different. I don't want to be the right way about it, because I mean, they're also saying stuff in this that you couldn't say you could get away with now. But you couldn't get away with, really. Like, I mean, even if you're putting it in a movie right now, it's very hard to get away with saying some of the stuff they say in this, right?
Yes, the dialogue is a little.
There is no, if you notice, there is no black character in this movie. No. It is taking place in the 50s. There isn't.
Yeah.
There wasn't.
You know what though? Again, this is just like there's times and periods and places that's
this
not
is Oregon.
And this is a story, but this is a story. At the end of the day, it
Oregon
is ultimately a story.
Even Oregon now is like,
to your point, there's all types of stories, and this is just one that didn't feature it. Like, but you're right. If they did this today, they would feel the need to have to do that as a result, possibly, right? Depending on what. I hear what you're saying. I would. Yeah, listen, I mean, again, that's another theme that's in a lot of Stephen King things is there's racist characters in in some of his stuff. And again, I think that's, again, like you pointed out, a reflection of stuff that was
the reflection of the era.
Yeah.
It's true to the time. Like,
Stephen King, the way he rails online, like goes off online. This guy's like super woke with Stephen King. And, like, the way he goes on about things, it seems like in today's times, like in terms of his awareness of stuff and the way that he goes on. Like I've when I used to see stuff online about him, he would always be kind of rallying against for some cause or whatever. So but yeah, I mean, in terms of my favorite moments in this,
I was going to say, did you have any favorite scenes? I mean, I can go on about more, but
we'll get back to you. For me, it's all about the ending. Honestly, the ending really hit me hard at the end of this movie. It took like a fine film to kind of like a next level for me. Honestly, that ending really affected me. It hit me hard. I really like what he said about how like.
That quote,
when it sort of goes back to like present day.
I'm gonna
get teary eyed. Like,
yeah, I know, bro. That fucking quote's hard to
say. He says the line, "Friends come in and out of your life like busboys in a restaurant." Like, it's just, it's true. It sucks. Like, just the fact that they all. Like, he's sitting there reminiscing about this story that came up. Obviously, you find out as a result of this fucking friend who just died, who got stabbed in the throat.
That's ironic.
as a fast food restaurant for opening his mouth and trying to help somebody once again, as he tended to do for him all throughout this film. It was there for his friend, and he intervened in something in line at a restaurant, got stabbed in the throat, dies. He says this at the end, and then there's the tragic him waving and then fucking fading away in his memory and like in his life. Like that hit me so fucking hard at the end. I was just like, well, that's brutal. And then they're talking about getting older and losing all your friends. And I hear this is what this guy's up to now. And I heard this is what happened to him. And this guy fell on hard times.
Yeah, he's married. He's working at the hardwood store.
And it's just what fucking happens, bro. Like it's like at the end of all this, you fucking want them to be like, yep, and I was friends with those guys till this
For
day.
the next 40 years, yeah.
Never have, he says it, bro. You'll never have friends like you did when you were 12, bro. That summer when he was 12, he said.
And even within that group, only the one guy he kept in contact with out of the four of them. And then he ends it on saying, oh, yeah, but he just died now. I just found out he died the other day. And this is why like all this stuff came up that he was reminiscing and writing about of their experiences. And then again, like just the fade away at the end. I'm just like, fuck you, man. At the end of this
well,
movie.
Chris.
So I didn't catch which friend was it that he was supposed to have kept in touch with? I missed it.
Chris,
yeah,
which is River Phoenix.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. Yeah.
So River Phoenix gets labeled as a bad character in this. They used to do that, and this is what I remember growing up too.
I relate.
Labeled.
I understand.
That's what happens.
I was never that kid, but he's so right what he says in that scene. Once you get labeled as such, it's impossible to
get out of it.
Yes,
It's what people remember. Yeah.
Trust me, I got labeled as that one of those kids, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And it never it stuck with me for a long time,
and it can do a lot of damage to it.
Very much,
absolutely, and not to mention, especially
this is where it hits me hard.
A lot of the kids that are labeled as such are going through it at home as well. Like that's the thing about those kids.
This
like,
was going through the divorce times of my family.
Exactly.
This was where I mean, this is where it got, and then me and my brother having arguments. This really hit at a fucking weird time for me. It was really hard. Like okay, when they're sitting there on the log, okay, him and Gordy, Chris keeps saying, you gotta be, you're gonna be that writer. That's your dad talking, that's your dad telling you can't do that, beating him down because his brother died, and poor Gordy was brushed aside by his mother who was probably on fucking antidepressants like fucking crazy, and the father who was just depressed, right? Mm-hmm. He gets these little flashbacks of his brother. Like, I mean, life was short for his brother. His brother died in a tragic car accident, right? So it could just happen in a split moment, and your life can change as a kid, right? And it's very relatable. So he has this one scene where he's sitting there talking about that, and he says, do you think I stole the milk money? This is the best because I can remember this. Chris looks at Gordy and says, they didn't even ask me if I stole the milk money. They just said that they labeled him. They assumed it was him, and they labeled him, right? Yeah. He goes, now nobody knew I stole the money. First he goes, nobody even asked me. He goes, but Chris says, you did steal the money. Sorry, Gordy says, you did steal the money. He goes, yeah, you guys knew, but nobody else knew. But they didn't even ask him. They just labeled him as his brother. What's his brother's fucking name? Popeye.
Yeah.
Right? Popeye. Yeah, it's his brother's name. It's his nickname that hangs around Keeler Southern. Yeah, they just name it as one of the Chamberlain kids. Right?
Yeah.
Because, so he actually went and apparently gave the money back to the teacher to put back. But she fucking took it, the bitch. Okay? And went and bought herself a nice dress. And they're having this emotional talk. Like, it's very... And this is why I could see why River Phoenix became such a heartthrob, too, if it started from here on out, because he was a real pivotal character in this movie. He played not only the badass, but he also played the very emotional person, and at the end of the day, and was always there for his friends.
Yeah.
Right. It was the Viper Lounge. There you go.
Viper Lounge. That's it.
There you go. Sorry, I knew it was going to come out.
His
somewhere.
Light bulb came on.
Yeah, ding. You should have that.
Yeah.
So, but
too. Hold on.
No, hey, with the sound effects we got nowadays.
You want
right?
a gong?
No,
Oh, that was good.
that was the wrong answer. You're the weakest link. All right.
You know what's interesting? I just wrote this. This
Oh,
kind
but-
of ties into what you're saying. Is that what I wrote down? Is that this is a movie about grief. It's entirely about grief
In a way, yeah, a lot of it.
because they go looking for this dead body, which
I didn't look at it
triggers.
that way. That's interesting. Yeah.
They go looking for this dead body, which triggers Will Wheaton to have a connecting moment of grief about his brother all of a sudden. And they're grieving the death of this kid that's their age once they find him. And then the narrator, later, same guy, but later on, is grieving his childhood friend and the death of his childhood altogether.
Exactly.
It's a movie about grief.
And at the end of the day, the kids.
Good call.
At the end of the movie, the kids in this movie that started with River Phoenix turned out to be grief after too. It's so weird because they talked about him losing his life in this one, obviously.
Yeah.
And then later on he lost his life
And he
as
died,
he grew up. As he grew up. So it almost like I hate it when movies do this to some
It was like predicted it was going to
it's
happen
almost
type thing.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
almost predicts
He
its own
fulfilled this weird
itself.
prophecy of the movie he was in.
Yeah, right. It becomes
And then Joaquin Phoenix became fucking
Crazy.
It's called
Kinda bizarre.
life imitating art. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
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 And and then Corey Feldman fell kind of off. They were really close friends too. Him and the two Corys, right?
Well,
Both
that's a
of them.
whole other.
Yeah, right. I mean, so
I mean, if his claims are, he got, possibly diddled at that when he was a young age. Yeah, there's a whole thing with him.
there's a huge
right?
thing. Even
It's
with
just, and it was what he
but
was saying
even with,
before they were really like paying attention to how kids were being abused in Hollywood as an industry. Like, yeah, it really.
look at things too.
And now
Richard
it's like-
Pryor's son as well.
Now at this stage, like, well, it's like those kids all went through that, then they grew up and then they became the people that really imposed that on the industry of like, fucking pay attention, people are abusing these kids, and like started that legislation, which is kind of cool.
Yeah,
It kind of like shaped the future in a sense,
Yeah.
in a different way. It
Yep.
started that wave, and then you know what? Whether it had been a good thing or whether it had been a bad thing, you know what I mean?
It's unfortunate, but it led to kids getting protected, which is good. Yeah.
well,
They became advocates, is what I was trying to say. Yeah.
Oh, right.
I couldn't think of the word. Yeah.
Well, even what's his name there? The main the kid who's
Will
Richard
Wheaton?
Dreyfuss when he grows up.
Will Wheaton.
Will Wheaton. Even that part, like for him, like he said, like his emotions about his father not believing in him and all this other shit comes out at the strangest time. Like again with the dead body, like that's when he breaks down finally after even having that talk about how his father, why doesn't he like me? Like, you know what I mean? Like it's again just like a weird moment for it to come out, but that's how that shit works. Sometimes it comes out in the weirdest times, essentially, like those feelings sometimes that he can't
Just broing down in the woods with your friends. Just bro time. Toasting marshmallows or hot dogs or whatever the fuck they were doing out there.
Well,
That's speaking of that too.
Yeah.
That scene, come on, and I know you guys love it because it's just
Like
little
smoking
mini
cigarettes after the marshmallows.
Well, yeah, it's like their thing. Oh yeah, I stole some things for us after we eat, right? Because they got some meat right at the deli. That was that one there with they always heard this old wives' tale about.
Yeah, nothing like a smoke after a meal. Yeah,
I wrote that down too.
I cherish these moments. Yeah.
Are they supposed to be like 10? Like, yeah, come on. Unbelievable.
I wrote down that quote. I loved it.
Yeah, I wrote it too.
This was one of those. It's like story and story. Like the whole quotes. I'm sorry, the scenes. They just blend for me.
Yeah.
It becomes one giant scene because everything is so relatable in a sense, in that way, right? So they're sitting there before when they went to the choppers. When they heard the story about the junkyard, and he's
The
coming
dog,
back
yeah.
getting the meat, right? And they're doing before that they're trying to decide who's going to go get the food, right?
Mhm.
And they're flipping coins, and they hit all fucking tails, and that was Four Tails, and Jerry Connell's like, oh, you know, that's what the fuck was that word he used?
Goocher.
A goocher, yeah.
I tried to look up. Apparently, goocher means that it's slang for an extremely unlucky outcome when flipping coins.
Yeah.
Which I never have heard of before. Yeah.
Never,
which
yeah.
Interesting.
I thought he was just trying, because he has a lisp in this too, right? He doesn't. Yes. He has a very kind of like a little cute little kid's lisp, right? Yeah, it's funny. He's a little fat kid in this one. It's funny, right?
Yeah. So, well, that's why I didn't recognize him. I was really thrown off when I looked at the cast after. I obviously knew a lot of the other actors, but I didn't know that was Jerry O'Connell.
Just this from here, he looks exactly the same.
He played, didn't he play that superhero at one point? What's it called? And there was a show that I thought I
possibly.
Yeah.
It's also funny, like their representation of like this friend group and like kind of how they're not their roles, but like their personality. Like that is. It's so funny to think about. Like I can think of that in every friend group. Like there is always a kid that's like a shithead. There's a kid that is like a chicken shit. There's a kid that's like way smarter than everybody else, and then there's a kid that's just kind of like a background character. You know, like somebody that doesn't really fit. That's like.
But that's what keeps them up. That's what keeps it. It's an even balance.
It's endemic of every friend group. Like there's one of those in every friend group. Like it's a good representation of like, kind of a wide range of kids that are friends outside of school type thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. This is before you grow up and everybody gets all split up and your views change. Everything changes. Life changes.
A couple other things that stood out to me was I loved the whole mom jokes in this movie because that was a thing that we used to do when we were younger all the fucking time. Was bust out mom jokes, your mom jokes. Yeah. So I really was glad that this movie captured that. Another really cool moment that captured something from childhood I thought of in this film was the scene where the older brothers groups, they were cutting tattoos into each other, which was stupid like that. But we had a similar thing that we did. That we would take lighters and do smileys on each other.
Yep, I remember that.
Initiation, like almost like you're part of like this group of people. We would do that kind of thing as an initiation kind of like tactic of being friends with people. We would do smileys on each other when you burn.
That still happened when I was in high school.
Yeah, so I'm just saying that's like this is a version of that essentially in this movie, like almost like them cutting those snakes or whatever the fuck they're putting on themselves, right? I forgot what it was, whatever that they were cutting the tattoos into themselves for all to kind of signify that group of friends, right?
It's like everybody to see how good your pain tolerance is to fucking
those are like fucking jailhouse tattoos, man. Like
you remember like kids would do that, but there was also like the Knuckles game where you're fucking flicking coins at each other and shit.
No TVs, no nothing. You had to figure out something to do.
Just good, clean fun. Cutting each other up in the woods.
Playing home run mailbox baseball or whatever the fuck they call it.
How many times have I seen that in other things too? Like this must have been one of the first ones to do it because I feel like I've seen that in all kinds of other movies and shows at this point.
Must have been a thing that people did, I guess, right?
Obviously. Yeah. But I've seen that in a lot of things.
Nobody has fucking mailboxes anymore.
I know. We used to be a country. What happened?
We don't even have mailboxes.
And then another thing too, I wanted to point out. You mentioned it earlier, Jay. Obviously, that the best shot of the film is the bridge, but another part that reminded me out like was when they're camping out under the stars when they're all kind of camping out together on that night. Honestly, again, it reminded me of the start of Late Night Chat. Why we do this YouTube channel, the Late Night Chat Network was based on me and Jay having late night chats. Sitting out in the dark and like where were we for that wedding?
New Brunswick
of all places. Yeah, so like that's kind of where we came up with the idea of the late night chat was kind of reminiscing about this good time that we had like in doing that. So like that's what I mean. There's moments in this movie that it reminds you of other things even in your own life in that regard that actually give me a bigger appreciation for certain moments that they're referencing. And because not everyone's going to have the same experience as the people did in this film, but that doesn't mean that you can't get anything out of their experiences that you can relate to in a similar fashion. Right.
Yeah. No, that camping one was good too. There's some good quotes in there, right? Like with
that Mickey Mouse conversation.
Mickey's a mouse. Mickey's a mouse. Donald's a duck. What's Pluto?
Goofy's not a dog. He
Yeah,
wears a
where's
hat and
Goofy?
drives
Yeah,
a
yeah.
car.
Yeah. No, it's true. That's a question that's been talked
Always
about
been
before.
talked
Yeah,
about.
yeah,
You
absolutely.
nobody really says it, but I mean, pretty sure he's a dog. He's got to be a dog.
I have to
Uh,
wonder if that whole shut up, throw up, grow up thing, if that
Oh, we used to say that.
originated
Yeah,
in this movie.
yeah.
I wonder if that came from this or if it existed and they
Probably.
played on it.
No, probably. I would think I would think maybe it existed back in the day, but in the 50s or something.
But that
right?
that closer where it goes, and then your mom goes around the corner and she licks it up.
licks
That's
it up.
probably
Yeah,
from
yeah,
the movie.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
People were saying that when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah. We used to say all the time.
but honestly,
Shut up, we throw. Or what is this? Fuck.
I don't shut up, I grow up.
Grow
And
up.
when I
look at
fucking
you,
see
throw
your
up.
face, I throw up. Yeah.
I never said that myself. No,
I remember kids saying it to each other.
All right.
I did.
You know, I know I've seen that. I'm sure because I know about Julie from talking about it doing this show that she probably didn't like was the lard ass story.
A fucking
segment.
vomit
Oh,
shit.
I
I left the room for the entire
It was-
scene.
Julie, it was so fake. Like you could
doesn't
stay
matter.
there. It looked
It
like
doesn't
apple
matter.
juice
Like
coming out of a
seeing people
hose.
puke, though. We've gone over this before on the show when we
I
talked
can't
about
deal with it. I
the,
can't.
the Monty Python. Remember we talked about that, and she hates
And
that.
I've seen that movie a fucking 100 times.
I
and
didn't
still
realize
don't
I
like
got
it.
it twice in a row. That's 2 bangers with
Yeah.
fucking throwing up.
Yeah, that was a
Look at
fucking.
that. I killed 2
I had to be
people.
gone for a long
And I
time. I knew it was still going on when he was still telling the story. I'm like, nope, I cannot. Can't watch this one.
But that's what I like about the story
Gross.
inside the story.
Now I get
Like-
it. It's layered. It's like an onion.
Yeah,
Like Shrek
Stephen,
says.
and if Stephen King's writing it like that, like or whatever, whoever's writing it exactly like that, it's
Mhm.
kind of cool if you really think about it. You're coming from 3 different perspectives. It's like three POVs. It's like it's so weird. It's kind of neat the way they do that.
Story within a story within a story within a story, because it's Stephen King telling the story of Richard Dreyfuss telling the story of his childhood, who's telling a story to his friends.
Yeah, exactly. It's fucking 4 times over.
He's just writing about writing. He was really running out of ideas, and then it became a movie. Yeah,
Yeah,
But it actually is pretty
it's
good.
okay.
It's
It turned into a
smart
beautiful
scene.
thing. It's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with it.
No, right? It was pretty cool, and the whole way it played out right to the end, right? Like when he decided to sit back and think to himself, you know, and his kids. Oh, my dad always says that he'll be right there, and he finally ended the fucking story, and he went out to go spend some time with his kids,
Mhm.
right? Just because those are the things that matter now, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Or he's like, suck my fat one, you cheap dime store hood.
Dude, what about when Corey said what's his name? Not is it Corey?
That was Corey Feldman said that.
Yeah, Corey
yeah.
for Vern. When he says
Nobody's named Vern anymore. What happened to this
who the
place?
fuck? Vernal, yeah. No,
Why don't you go home and fuck your mother some more?
Yeah.
no, what he said to the fucking junkyard guy when he says, "I'm gonna rip your fucking head off and shit down your fucking throat."
That's another one. That's like, did it come from the movie?
Yeah.
Right?
Well, Beaches, the story, the best.
Your dad is crazy. Kooky
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, because he's the loony kid. Yeah, my father stormed the beaches of Normandy is still the best.
How
though.
dare you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where he's like, Teddy Duchamp, your dad's a loony.
But he's like, I don't know why he cares so much about his dad. Gordy says afterwards, and he's in the dialogue, like the
Yes.
narrator says, you know, I don't know why he cared so much about his dad when his dad didn't do anything
That's right.
for him, didn't do anything for him, used to hit him all the time and shit like that, and do that kind of stuff. And
That's one of those things.
Gordy's dad never touched him. The last time he touched him was when he was a kid, when he fucking was eating bleach under the sink. Like that's kind of, yeah, you get a smack for that back in the day.
But that's one of those things that, like, I don't know, like that made sense to me. Like, boys become really fiercely protective of their dad's reputation. Like,
I don't know why.
My dad could beat up your dad type shit. Like that's a thing for boys.
Trust me, I'm going through that in a sense right now too. So
I know, but like that's
fuck.
a thing that does make sense to me. Like that was still a thing when I was a kid.
You love them so you hate
Don't
them so
talk shit
much.
about
you
my
love
dad.
them.
Like that type of fucking
It's
attitude.
like- Yeah, it's a love to hate to love relationship. It's
yeah,
the
I
way-
guess.
It's males fucking being male. It's the
It's
way we
pride.
were brought up. Yeah,
Fucking male pride, dude.
it's all it is. It's pride. Just throw it out the fucking window and cry like a little bitch. That's all we need to do. Sorry, guys. That's it, man. You know,
I also liked when he's like where Buddy says "Sick'em boy," but all he heard was where chopper sick balls. Yeah,
that was the story in town, right? That he had a vicious guard
it's
dog.
like a small dog. Yeah,
well, it's a lab. It's a fucking lab.
It's like a golden retriever or something.
Yeah, or a golden retriever. So the most friendliest fucking dog in the world. Yeah, okay, it'll be protective if he says get him, right? But that's all he says is get him. He doesn't say, or the guy's a pretty big prick. Yeah, he is a pretty big prick.
Or Jerry O'Connell there with the whole comb bit about dropping the comb.
Bro, I brought the comb.
Oh, I dropped the comb.
What will we do without the comb?
That would be my brother. I brought the comb.
Yeah.
What the fuck am I gonna do with it? You know what I mean? Since I was 17. Fuck.
Even the whole thing about the brothers, the playing chicken, like that was a big thing too. That a lot of people died from, like doing shit like that, right? Like back in the day, like that's
Keeler Sutherland put his face on. That's the face from the thing from the.
Honestly, Kiefer Sutherland is
Lost
like
Boys
all-timer bad guy back in the day in movies. Like he is. He's still
a
like
badass.
He's a piece of shit in so many movies, but back in the day, like he played good.
The guy that was his little sidekick there too. I don't remember who plays him, but I remember thinking he kind of looked like Sean Astin.
Popeye.
I don't know what his name was. It was just like the guy I know it's not because it's like he wouldn't have been old enough, but like, I don't know. Yeah, the guy that was like his sidekick there. It was
I know
like
what you're talking about.
Yeah. I don't know why. When the first time he was on screen, I was like, "Is that fucking Sean Astin?" But I was like, "No, it wouldn't have been the right age, I don't think." But yeah, it was weird. Anyway.
Yeah.
I derailed again. Weird side thoughts.
Okay. I really don't have anything else. That's kind of what I had. I said some of the quotes I had and the scenes that I had. I don't know about you guys, but like I said,
for me.
I think I hit all my important parts about this is the ending, like I said, the bridge scene and some of the funny quotes and things that happen along the way, but it reminded me of other stuff. But that's the big standout for me. But that's the only time I may have came close to getting emotional about this though, Jay, is that ending. Just because again, that's the thing
saying it out loud right now, that makes you feel it. That makes it real. Yeah. That makes it feel real.
Well, and again, it's a theme that it always gets me. That's why I like these coming of age stories. But then there's always the part of these coming of age stories where you have to face reality of getting older, and it's just like, and that's a harsh reality for you. Don't understand it at that age.
Especially male pride.
You don't have to worry about it at that age. But then as you get older, you start to see that, and you're like, why can't things be the way that
we all just miss having no responsibilities?
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't grow up in an era where we had too many.
You can't put the genie back in the bottle, unfortunately, right? Like, so it's just one of those things. Once when you get older, things change, right? That's just all.
I was a heartthrob. No, I look more like Jerry O'Connell when I was that age.
Take your word on that.
I was a heartthrob.
I was a heartthrob at that age. Look what happened. Look what happened. This is what happened. Fucking 40 years to 30 years down the line.
Oh boy.
35 years, 40 years down the line, whatever, man. Fuck.
I was a young River Phoenix.
I had the wavy hair, everything, dude. I had thick, wavy hair.
What River Phoenix would look like if he didn't die at the Viper Lounge.
Yes. I got the same beard going on in his brother sometimes. Come on, man. I just missing the hair. That's all.
That was a good laugh. Thanks. I needed that. I was a heartthrob. I did not expect that to be said in this episode. So
that's something.
Hey, at least I'm not too ashamed to admit it.
All right.
Why would you be ashamed to admit that?
No, I was more like Vern. I was more like Vernal. Sorry, I was more like not Thing's character, like Jerry O'Connell's character, Vern.
I think I was like. That's interesting. Who do you feel like you most identify with? I want to know amongst the two of you.
Well, I have a little bit of a mixture. I used to get in trouble, but I look more like fucking. I acted like River Phoenix, but I look like Jerry Connell at that age. Okay. I was a little chubby with titties. I had it all. Right. Yeah. That's who I feel like. I want to say what I feel like Nico could I probably identify more with.
Who do you think?
was a little bit like, I think more of a cross between Gordy and maybe
Who's Corey Feldman?
Corey Feldman. Yeah.
Yeah,
Teddy.
that's
Yeah.
I think I identify with him the
Teddy.
most.
His name is Teddy. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you because I feel like he's the smartass of the group, and I was more of a smartass when I was like this age. So I think that.
But you're also that book
Yes.
book one like this. Like
No,
him,
you're
Gordy.
dead. You're. I just didn't know all their names right off the top of my head. You're right.
Yeah.
I think you're dead on. I think you're right. I think I'm a mixture of those two traits of these characters. Yeah, because I could definitely be both.
But I think we can all like. I think we can all say. I mean, I don't think I've ever been so. But I mean, I've always been, you know, in a story creative wise in my head in a sense when I was growing up. Never went anywhere because nobody ever pushed me that way. But you know what I mean. And I can be a smart ass too, right? So I mean, it's almost like a full circle. Unless you look like Jerry O'Connell at that time. Yeah, unless you look like Jerry O'Connell and act like a, you know, maybe when I was a little younger than this age, I was more of a wuss like him in that sense, like Vern, right? But then once I started finding the vagine and stuff like that, I became more of the heartthrob.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
So, but you know, I unfortunately, yeah. But this is, I took a lot from, I honestly, guys, I took a lot from this movie. This is my favorite movie. It's probably one of my favorite movies of all time. Just, I'm gonna let you guys know that.
Good pick then. It's good. Like you said, you got to expand people's horizons here, especially Julie's with her long list of films she's never seen.
I mean,
I'm doing it for the rage bait, baby. That's it.
You do the same thing though, like you said. You've had the man watch a Miyazaki film this past year, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you had like that's the point.
I went out of my realm.
If it's that much of a fucking stretch for him, he's an expert on cartoons now.
Right, that's true.
No, well, yeah, but mine don't really have any subtitles. Mine just go.
That's true. That is a funny.
You imagine Jay back in his heartthrob days, Julie. He's like, "Hey, what's going on, ladies?"
Can't even fathom it. Yeah. Can honestly say, don't know what we're talking about there.
This is a seasoned vet right here, buddy. All right, look, you think you get salt and pepper for no reason? It's called wisdom, everybody.
That's what it is.
What's going on, ladies?
That's it.
Oh my god.
Oh,
that was a penis noise, Jay. That was you whipping it out.
No, I should have said boing like that.
That's what it was supposed to be.
That makes it sound like it makes.
Hold on, here we go.
Wait, hold on. That makes it sound like me hitting the floor with it.
I pressed the wrong one. That's why I thought it was a funny sounding one. But here we go. Hey, ladies, what's going on?
The other one made it sound like, "Hey, ladies, what's going on?" And I just go to lay it on the
and
table.
it was like the longest dick ever. Yeah.
Yeah, no shit.
That was him jumping off the train tracks.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
That was the sound of Jay burying her in the woods.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Yeah,
geez.
but
no, it's a good pick, man.
I never got lucky enough to see a dead body though. That I actually no wait. I only seen one when I was old enough when late night chat started. There you go. Remember that, Nico?
I do.
I was down by the dock of the bay, and there
was that was a late night chat exclusive.
That wasn't exclusive, man. That was a one of a kind, bro.
I remember. I was really proud
That's
of
the first time I seen a dead body.
That was one of my favorite posts we ever made because it was like we put Jay's audio over a picture. Oh man, that's so bad because that was somebody in that bag.
Hey, some pimp.
I don't think he really thought it was a body, though. I think he thought that they were going to uncover a bunch of garbage, and then it turned out to actually be a body.
We have to talk about what we're talking about now for anybody who doesn't know. So basically, Jay went down to like the
went down to the waterfront.
Okay, I went to the. No, because my pharmacy's down there. I parked the car and I decided I'm gonna go for a little walk and check out these chicks. But I seen a bunch of cops there too, right? So I said, okay. And marijuana was legal at the time, so I decided, okay, I'm gonna smoke a joint, go for a walk.
I should add sound effects to this story.
It was beautiful out. It was sunny. It was beautiful, guys. It was kind of like a Stand By Me moment, right? So I went to go walk down by the creek, down by the lake. Sorry, right? I took the,
Yep.
the Queen's
took the
Quay.
scenic
I was
route,
down there.
ran through the field.
And to the docking area where people put their boats, and they're pulling this thing out of the fucking water, ends up in a fucking bag. Okay, there's what
That was Jay reacting.
so I'm trying to smoke a joint, but be inconspicuous. Now you got a guy like me, okay, with this. Okay, my it was summertime, so I had this, right?
Backpack?
Right? And then I had my hoodie on, and I'm trying to be conspicuous filming there. I'm surprised, and I'm trying to smoke a joint at the same time because I wanted to make sure that these guys, I wanted to get this because it was a body in the bag. I'm trying to take pictures of it, right? Yeah.
Couldn't believe what was happening.
No, that's the first time I ever seen a dead body like that.
Yeah, then his heart started racing.
I mean, I've seen dead bodies prior to that. Yeah.
We had this, what's it called? The Alfred Hitchcock moment.
Yeah,
No.
exactly.
Yeah.
No, but this is before it went to the crematorium, or sorry,
Telltale heart. Yeah.
before a guy, before it gets just presented to you for, here it is in the casket sort of thing, right?
Yeah. So Jay basically talked about this on the show, how he saw them kind of maybe picking
Fucking
up
awesome.
from the water, and we put out a clip of him talking about it with the picture of like.
He felt like he was in an episode of CSI.
It does bring this movie. If you think about it, bro, it can relate to just about anything we've fucking done.
That's crazy. We've come full circle.
There you go.
Wow.
I always know how to turn it right around. Don't worry.
All right. So Jay, did you have any questions? Anybody have any questions about this film that they didn't understand about anything here?
Well, like
I do kind of, but not really.
Vernal says, he says, did Lardass have to pay to get into the competition? Or did they just let him in? No, he asked Gordy that. Gordy answers him. So that was just another quote. That was a question, but a quote too, because I thought it was such a nerdy question to ask about when somebody tells you a story like that.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to take that from that scene. Sorry.
I got nothing. Julie?
I got one, but I'm sure it's available online, but I didn't want to do any research.
Maybe I can answer
I wanted the conversation to be like informative for me and like sort of maintain. Didn't want to cross-contaminate too much knowledge because it's JT's episode. We know the short story was called The Body that they based it on.
Yeah.
Not a very interesting title for a movie, but do you think that they called the movie Stand By Me because the song came out at the time? And like, do you think the song came out and they were like, let's use this? Or do you think the
song came out a long time ago?
No, I know that, but do you think like the song came out, they thought like, we're going to use this, let's call it Stand By Me? Or do you think like they called it that and then they're like, we should get the song? Or like, why did they change it to Stand By Me? That was essentially my question.
Yeah, which came first? I think the song may have been indicative of
the era.
Yeah, that's what she's trying to say.
But of the 50s.
That's what
she's I know, but I'm saying like, do you think that they called it that because of the song?
We know Stand By Me didn't come out in the 80s.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
And this,
do you think that they wanted to use the song, so they called it Stand By Me, or do you think that they called it that and they were like, we should get the song for the movie? Like, do you think, like, why did they change it to Stand By Me? That's my question.
The chicken before the egg. What did the chicken before? Is that what you're trying to say? Kind of basically ask your son a long question.
I'm wondering why they chose Stand By Me as the title. That's why.
I don't know, because maybe Stand By Me as friends. You stand by each other when you're.
That's essentially the question. Yeah, that's all. Like,
really?
I called it that because of that. But
I don't know for a fact either, so it may just become unanswered unless we like search for it. But if I had to guess, it's because of the song of the era, and then they just used it. If I had to guess, I mean that makes more sense to me than not. And
that's a big song, and you know what? It's four friends, and they're sticking together. And you know what? You're standing.
I mean, obviously, they did use it. That was the one thing that like they used it in the credits, but they also used it at the beginning. I did notice that they took the melody from the song and they got some like an orchestra to kind of play the theme.
I did do a quick Google search.
Yeah.
And it says They called it Stand By Me after the iconic Ben King song, a title chosen by director Rob Reiner to highlight themes of friendship and loyalty, replacing the original, less commercial title, The Body, to avoid confusion with horror films and better reflect the boys' strong bond.
Right. Oh, it makes sense.
So because I don't think The Body was actually really that horror-ish. I think it still had the kids, the friends and stuff like that. I never read the book, but it just plays out more darker.
It's not a very interesting title for.
No, it plays out a lot more darker.
Like, it doesn't fit. Yeah.
And I'm not sure if Christina's read that one. Nico, I don't know. I know she's got that.
Christine, I don't think she's ever read that one.
No, I'm just wondering because I know she does. She has
actually, she might have. She has read some of his short story stuff. Actually, the one she just actually read this past year, which is the Bachman books, I think short story, the ones that he wrote under that pseudonym, that name. Actually, were two ones that just got adapted this year, and that's The Long Walk and The Running Man. Both were in that short story book, essentially. But they're a couple hundred pages still, those ones. But but they're novellas for sure still.
And those are all short stories. Yeah, exactly. Those aren't the whole fucking full thing.
They're not short. Like, he's done shorter stories, but they're novellas, right? They're a couple hundred pages, so they're still like they're a bit they got some meat to them. They're not like a short story. So
what's funny is that he always likes to cross contaminate with all his other stuff. Like he essentially writes about characters and he uses them in other adaptations and stuff, right? So I mean, I wonder if there's anybody in here, if they said that. I didn't take a deep dive into it, right? Like in that sense, because I didn't really at that point really care. But now that I'm thinking about it, it's like maybe I should have took a deep dive in that part, in that sense, because you always wonder if that's the case, right?
I also am seeing some stuff here about how River Phoenix is actually in part to thank for the name, because apparently he apparently had something to do with them play. I guess him and Rob Reiner. He was inspired by him to kind of name it that as well in some way. I'm not reading the whole story here, but he says that he was involved, I guess, in what as well in that decision. So that's interesting as well. So yeah, no, I'm really glad we did this because of the timeliness of the Rob Reiner for sure. So. Jay, any movie pairings for this?
Movie pairings, I'd say anything. I'd say Breakfast Club. I'd say something like
that's a good one.
Any sort of old nostalgic, anything that can bring you back to your childhood, and any sort of coming of age movie. I can't think of anything crazy. I did Breakfast Club and I don't know. I really, that's all I really can. I'm really thinking of. I don't really think of anything when I think of this movie. I just think about life, right? It's just one of those things. You know what I mean?
Yep. I mean, there's probably a lot that I could have came up for.
You could have probably done 16 Candles. If you start writing along those types of lines, when you start going back to older movies, you can pair it with, maybe if you want to do with Keith or Sutherland's of The Boys, that part, so you can see that sort of badass of him. You can check out some of John Cusack's earlier stuff because they were all heartthrobs back then.
Yep.
Right. You know. So
yeah, we didn't even talk about him. He's in this for a hot minute too.
That was those are quick cameos, bro, and those probably at that point he was the heartthrob at that time. Keith Sutherland never became like a heartthrob. He always became that badass. But now he's like the savior in all his fucking shows.
Sure.
So yeah, it's such a weird dynamic.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you can come up with a million of these if you're just focusing on the theme of like, coming of age stuff or even like friendship. But I just kind of jotted down the few that came to mind after watching this, and I kind of left it at that. I came up with Goonies, of course. Corey Feldman's in that movie, and again, it's about a group of friends. He's also in that film, and it's around this period of time, and also features a lot of actors who were younger at this time that were on the come up in the same way. You actually even mentioned Sean Astin earlier, Julie. He's in, and so is Corey Feldman, and a lot of these guys.
Which was made around the same time, right?
Yeah.
That's why I was like, Sean Astin would not have been the age of the fucking bully guys. He would have been a kid.
So then there's that. There's Sandlot, of course, comes to mind, especially for the dog stuff, right?
I wrote that too, and I felt like that was more like
For you.
closer to my version of this, my generation
Growing up.
Not
But
really
yeah. Your
generations, but, like,
decade.
my decade's version of this movie.
Yep,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I think a lot of stuff switches by decade. So I think that's what we're gonna label it like that. Just simple as that, you know.
Yeah.
Your decade.
Obviously it, because again of the first part of it with them being kids. I mean, even if you look at it in a way, obviously it's a much scarier film, but that friendship bond type stuff, the trauma really, or grief or whatever that they experience from that, and they actually do reconnect as adults in part 2. But same thing, they kind of all separated and had to kind of come back together as a result of this all shared trauma that they experienced when they were younger, right? So again, just Stephen King. If you want to go for a Stephen King pairing, it's the opposite in terms of like tone, because it's a horror, but it does have a lot of the same themes, I would say, like a lot of Stephen King stuff. And then finally, again, with a more modern one, well, I guess you could say more modern, it's in the 2000s, I believe, but it's strictly from a friendship standpoint, and it's been a long time since I've seen this movie, but I used to love it. Without a Paddle, I put down for as well, which is a really good movie as well.
Great pairing. Fuck.
Three guys, kind of their friendship and stuff together, and being older and going out on like a camping trip or whatever the hell they do in that film. I can't remember now. It's been a while. So
their friend dies, and then they go looking for DB Cooper's treasure because it was what they always wanted to do.
It's kind of
that movie. I've watched that movie like 100 times.
It's kind of an amalgamation of Goonies and this, to be honest with you.
I think I've seen that. I'm not sure, right? I feel like I've seen that way you just spoke.
It was Seth Green, Matthew Lillard, and Dax Shepard.
That's right. Good cast too.
And
your boy Dax. Don't you like Dax?
Who?
Don't you like Dax Shepard? Isn't he your buddy?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Like, well, I don't know. Like, I don't really.
Matthew Lillard, I really like.
Matthew Lillard is great.
Yeah.
And Burt Reynolds is in it.
He in that? I can't remember.
Yeah, he's the he's a guy they meet in the woods.
Okay, I can't remember. It's been a while since I've seen that.
I'm pretty sure it's Burt Reynolds.
I remember really liking it, and I thought instantly about it when I was watching this. So yeah, so
I didn't make the connection, but that's a great pairing.
Yeah. So, all right. So yeah, that's actually, if you look at it with the friend dying aspect, it's actually like you could watch this and then see a movie of them when they're older, almost the three of them without the fourth, the guy dying, right? Like it's almost like the other end of that story in a way, right? So yeah, that's all I had for movie pairings. How about you, Julie?
So I haven't seen a ton of Stephen King adaptation stuff. I've seen some, but not a lot of them. I put down just because, like, I feel like this. When I think of Stephen King, I think of horror. Like I think more of that genre of like The Shining. I think more of that kind of Misery. Kind of was sort of in that vein too.
Yeah.
I think more of that type of stuff when I associate his name, but I think that this one for me more aligns with the Shawshank Green Mile sort of avenue of stuff he was doing. Mm-hmm. So I wrote those down. I wrote down Florida Project because I love to pair that movie with shit. I wrote down The Sandlot. I wrote down Holes.
Yeah. Sure.
I don't, and that one I feel like, like I'm good there. I can't really justify this one very well. I feel like Napoleon Dynamite kind of fits for me.
Yeah.
It's I don't like maybe
you're
I don't know 80s era,
80s,
but I'm still wrong.
80s.
I'm wrong on the 80s thing, but I don't know.
That nerdy
like
vibe.
Coming of age movie, I guess. I don't know. I wrote What's Eating Gilbert Grape. Has anybody seen that one? I can't remember.
You never seen that one with the?
No, I know what it's about.
Leo?
I know.
Yeah.
I never watched it.
I almost said the word.
It just feels reminiscent of a different time.
Same like this one. They used it,
but it is another like coming of age story type deal. Like it's another very similar kind of
When I grew up, truly, I could say that word and not
His
get in
grief.
trouble.
Well, different time. And I wrote down Little Miss Sunshine. Again, that one feels kind of loose, but it's just like, it was a coming of age story
What word
out
was
of a different.
I said, what word was that, Jay? No, sorry, go on.
No.
We all know which word. That's a Kill Tony word.
Yeah.
That's all I wrote. That's all I got.
Okay, cool. Not bad. For a movie you didn't connect with, I think he made some pretty good pairings there.
I just think, yeah, like it's like when I think of what he's saying about why he connects to it, how, like, what it means to him, and like what he feels about it, these things sort of come to mind.
Yeah.
I was kind of like jotting them down as we were talking here, and I'm like, okay, yeah, like I had Shawshank and Green Mile, but then I like built on it more. But yeah, I really do feel like The Sandlot is my closest pairing for it as far as like how I can perceive the story connecting for him.
But even though it's a group of guys that are friends, I don't think I can watch this with my friends.
Is it too sad?
I don't think it. I don't know how it would work in that dynamic. I don't know if any of us would be the same.
I couldn't convince anyone to watch this movie with me
because it's fucking sad.
I tried to get Miles to watch it with me. I tried to get Dean to watch with me. I tried to get Parth to watch it with me. Nobody would watch it with me. I had to watch it by myself.
Wow. And it's got a fucking high rating.
Because they don't like it, or like...
Miles was gonna watch it with me, but then it was like... he was like, it's kind of like, it's a sad movie. He didn't really want to watch it. Nadine was like, this movie's fucking boring. I don't want to watch this. And
she's a girl that
Parth also was kind of like, he'd never seen it either, but he was like, I don't think I want to watch this one. I'm like, all right, fine. So I had to watch it by myself.
White privileged kids are in this one. A lot of white privileged kids.
Parth's not white.
No shit.
What are you talking about? Oh, too many white privileged kids in the movie for him, you mean?
Yes.
Oh, I see.
And then finally, Legacy, which I think is pretty clear, right, Jay?
Unfortunately, we know what it is now.
Yeah. I mean, it's unfortunately it's going to be a Rob Reiner legacy, obviously, if it already hasn't been. But I mean, it's going to be. It was a River Phoenix. They got to share it now. They got to share it too, right? So
absolutely.
You know what I mean? And it's just all around a great fucking movie, an easy watch. And like I said, if you're I guess maybe a middle-aged guy like me, a hard watcher, sometimes it's nice to go back to and check up on your reality and remember your old self once in a while, because life just fucking moves too goddamn fast.
Mm-hmm. Ain't that the truth?
And I always said, man, I always say to all the kids growing up nowadays, like anybody that don't ever take advantage of being a kid, man. Don't grow up too fast. Like, if we only knew then what we know now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean,
don't take it for granted.
You don't take life for granted.
You said don't take advantage of being a kid.
No, well, don't forget to take advantage. Don't be in a hurry to grow up.
Take advantage of being a kid.
Don't be in a hurry. Don't start paying your taxes. Don't anything. Okay, stay under that age threshold, and you're good.
No, you know what, Jay? Good pick. I'm glad you picked this. I'm surprised you didn't pick this sooner, quite frankly, just because you've had picks where you're like, I don't even know why I picked this movie.
Yeah.
I told you, bro. Guys, I told you this movie. I picked it because of this. The reason that I had picked it is because of the old man and family stuff. So that's the reason why I picked it.
It was time.
It brought me back to an easier time or a different time in my life where I thought it was easier. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And sometimes you got to kick yourself down to a certain reality to
you don't know the good times you're in until they're already gone.
Right.
That type of shit.
What's that line where he's like the from The Office where stupid. I can't
remember it, but that's my version.
I wish somebody told me that it was the good times while they were happening or something.
Well, while we were in
while we were in them, because everyone always says
so true, bro.
The good times post like the good times, right? When they look back on it certain times, but he had expressed that Andy, which I hate that fucking character, but like
Me
basically
too.
he says like I wish it, yeah, somebody had told us it was the good times while we were in them, essentially. But then, you know, in the famous words of I forget the character's name for The Wire, he says something along the lines of kind of saying like, you know, of when something's in the past, it's the past, like, you know what I mean, like it
Past
also
will be
like,
always behind us. Yeah, there's a reason for it.
I forget how that quote
You
goes.
also become smarter from growing old in that sense too, right? From the past. The past makes you smarter.
He's saying it's like the thing about the past is it's the past, like essentially, like basically saying like I don't want to fucking focus on that anymore. I need to move forward. You know what I mean? Like that's you can look at it both ways, right?
It's time to grow up. Yeah.
Right. You can look at it both ways. So, but anyways, yeah, that's the legacy of this film, and that's JT's pick. Good pick, Jay. Nice one. So now we get to the point of the show where we're going to announce our next pick, which was picked by Max. Well, actually, it's going to be picked in part by us.
Yeah.
Down to a vote.
Yeah, so Max couldn't decide. So ultimately, he picked between, I think it's 1982 sci-fi films, I think he had mentioned, if I'm not mistaken. And he wanted you guys to, or all of us.
Let's see if we can guess. Hold on. Wait.
Sci-fi. Okay.
I want to see if I can guess. Sci-fi 82.
I don't know the 80s very well. I would guess wrong.
They're both good picks. I would be fine with either one, but I have my vote because I did take a look at
science fiction.
Yeah.
Science fiction 82.
What
would be related?
It's a toss-up between two science fiction movies, both from 1982.
Are they certain directors? Are they specific? I just want to see if I can pick I can guess his pick.
You want me to tell you the director of one of the films? You'll probably get it. No.
Oh, okay. No. Tell me. Yeah, if you say one of them, sure. Go ahead.
One of them's Ridley Scott.
Is that Alien?
No, it's these other big sci-fi.
Predator.
Films.
Predator.
No, that's not Ridley Scott. It's this other big sci-fi film that Ridley Scott did. It's not that.
I don't know. I'm bad at directors. I'm only getting good at it now. I don't know.
It's starring Harrison Ford.
Blade Runner.
Yep.
Okay.
The other one is by another big director, mostly known for horror. Okay. And it's starring Kurt Russell.
But it's not horror.
I mix up Kurt Russell with somebody else.
Sci-fi horror. It's sci-fi horror, in my opinion. I mean, but if people go back and forth on whether it's
Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
What else is Kurt Russell in? I can't even picture him.
He's in lots of things. I mean, it's
was he in the Tombstone thing?
Yeah.
He's good.
Okay. I can picture him. I don't know.
Godzilla.
The director is John Carpenter.
Godzilla.
John Carpenter. Is a horror director. Okay.
What the fuck did he do that was a horror?
The show Pluribus, Jay, is based on some of the ideas behind this film. No?
So like
Hive mind thing?
Wait.
Yes,
wait.
It's a hive mind.
Hive, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, no, okay. So wait. It's.
Did I spoil the show for you, Jay? I'm sorry.
No. Wait.
No, he's watched it.
Oh, okay.
I've probably watched this movie too. It's this fucking space.
You want me
Space
just to say
Odyssey?
It? No, it's not 2000.
No, not a space. No, wait. The one that just did it with the kid and the alien.
There's an alien, yes.
But it's like a robot. It's what the fuck.
I don't think you're gonna get it. You're way off.
Is it the
E.T.
the music one?
Oh no. Wait, The Thing.
I just said
not The Thing.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear that.
It's the thing. Yeah. So John Carpenter's The Thing or Ridley Scott's Blade Runner. And for me personally, I like both movies. Yeah, that's what I would go with, Blade Runner.
I don't know, man. I like fucking The Thing.
Well, I think we outvote you.
2-1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd rather.
I didn't even know that was based on that type of principle. I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's the alien entity, and it has like it basically when you it attach like it become part of like a hive mind system.
Okay.
Like it transforms people into like something that they're not essentially.
Do you know which one I was thinking of? The fucking the music. Oh God, what the fuck is it called? The spaceships come and they talk to each other with a tone.
That's Steven Spielberg, Close Encounters of the.
Yeah,
that's the one. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
I love that movie too. I would have.
That's a great movie.
Our next pick for next episode, everybody, with the Max's return, will be Blade Runner, the original from 1982, directed by Ridley Scott. I'm excited because I got a brand new 4K copy sitting in the other room right now that I purchased a while ago that I'll get to bust out for the first time upon this watch. And I've heard the 4K is very nice looking. So so there you go, guys. Blade Runner will be our next pick for episode 76 of Late Night at the Movies. Look how far we've come. So I want to direct everybody to our other video that would have just dropped as well for our favorite movies of 2025, which with me, Julie, and JT, and we'll be reading Max's list on that episode as well. Make sure to check that out. Always a lot of stuff coming out here from our YouTube channel here, Late Night Chat Network, your first stop for pop culture talk. Thank you to Jay. Great pick. And we'll see everybody next time. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Guys.
Peace out.
Welcome to the show, everybody.